Hello everyone, I'm Bleed Carswell and welcome back to another video. Now, as we all know, as petrol heads, Alfa Romeo hold a rather special place in the automotive landscape. A large part of that is to do with their rather gorgeous and breathtaking back catalogue, but it's also to do with some of the engines they make. One of these famous engines is the Busso V6. Now, I'm a little bit ashamed to admit it, but I've never actually spent time with one of those. So today, with this 156, I can't get my finger in shot, we're going to change that. So yes, let's get on with it. There's 4,000. Oh, it's brilliant. So the Alfa Romeo 156 was introduced in 1998 and it was kind of Alfa Romeo's take on the BMW 3 Series and the Audi A4. Now I say it's their take on the cars, on those cars, but obviously the 156 does things a little bit differently. This car is all about looking fabulous and stylish, whereas the German cars were probably built with selling vast numbers in mind. Obviously Alfa would probably have quite liked to have made a few more of these if they could have done. Now around the front, I think this is a fabulous looking car, and in person this is much smaller than I was expecting and is a very sleek little saloon. I really like the fact this bit here is so styled. The facelift kind of lost that because it had more generic shaped lights. So we come down the side, we have some teledial 16-inch alloys. Bigger were available, but I think that was on the model above this, if that makes sense. Coming down here, I know it's an odd thing to comment on, but I think the indicator design, or the indicator lens cover design, just shows off how well styled this car is, and the real effort has been put into this car to make it look as good as they can possibly make it look. I think that's something that is missing on a lot of cars. Again, this handle here demonstrates this car has been designed with style in mind. One thing I'm not so sure about though is the fact they've tried to hide the rear door handles. I really don't understand why manufacturers do this. Obviously they want it to look like a coupe, but it's obviously a 5-door. Just match that and put one there as well. Now moving around the back, this 156 is a fairly standard model. The only thing the owner has done to this one is he's put a very nice exhaust system on it. Obviously we're battling against the wind today, but I will try and get some clips of that as it does sound fantastic, especially with that nice V6 under the front end. Now, as you can expect with older cars, trying to find out the exact specification of them can be a little bit difficult, so I was trawling the forums last night and I think I've kind of figured out what this one is, but Alfa connoisseurs, please let me know if I'm wrong. So I think this is a standard 156, as they all were in 1999, with the Lusso option as well as the Sport Pack 2 on it. The reason I think it's got the Sport Pack 2 on it is because it has a leather wrapped steering wheel and the carbon effect sort of dash plastic inlays. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm sure we can all agree out here this is a fabulous looking car. And something else I'm sure we can all agree on is just how wonderful that famous V6 engine looks sitting in that engine bay. Now the Busso V6 has been around in one form or another since the 1970s and was first seen in the Alfa 6. The engine we have here is the 2.5 litre dual overhead cam version, and that was introduced in 1997 along with the Alfa 156. I'll speak more about this glorious engine later on in the video, but for the time being I just wanted to mention that in 2000 it won Engine of the Year for its category, and I also wanted to leave you with this little teaser as to what it sounds like. So as with the outside, the interior of the 156 is a very stylish place to be, and I know that's a bit of an obvious thing to say when you're talking about an Alfa Romeo, but honestly it is. You've got lots of swoopy angles in here, and ignore the fact that some of the trim possibly isn't the best fitting there. This isn't a mint example, but the owner sort of likes it like that. Is that right?
Say again?
You like this not being a mint example, don't you?
It might be mint one day, but not now.
So coming across here, what have we got? Well, this one has carbon effect trim, which is quite nice. I did see a photo online of one, I think had a wooden steering wheel, and that just looked weird, to be honest. You've got 3 dials here. They're nicely contrasting with orange and a black background, and that carries across into your main dials here. Coming down, we've got a nice 6-speed manual gearbox. I will experiment with that shortly. And coming across here, we have the leather wrap steering wheel. It's very simple in here, obviously helped by the fact we've got the standard Alfa tape player, so no luxuries really. You do have climate control there, don't you? And is there a cruise?
Aircon that doesn't actually work. Well, it's not been regassed, certainly. I've never tried it. So
we've got broken aircon. Anything else of luxury that you want to mention?
It's got a boot release button.
And a boot release button. There we go. But yeah, it's pretty simple in here, but it's kind of nice, to be fair. Hang on a second, let's take a closer look at those seats. Yeah, just as I thought, they are made of Blitz cloth. Therefore, this car is equipped with the Sport Pack 1 and not the Sport Pack 2 like I hinted at earlier on in the video. Now, I have to admit, I was just going to voice over me sitting in the back of the car, but I just quickly wanted to jump on camera because I am surprised by just how much room there is in here. From the outside, this looks like quite a small car and like it's going to be quite pokey inside. But back here, I've got absolutely loads of room, loads of knee room, loads of headroom. And there is also, because it's Italian, an ashtray in the door. So yeah, top marks back here really, and these seats are nicely styled in the same way the front ones are. Right, enough of that, back to the engine. So with 190 brake horsepower on tap, it is safe to say that this little front wheel drive saloon isn't neck-breakingly fast. It is easily more than adequate though, and couple that with the way the motor wants to rev. Trust me, not much happens below 4,000 RPM, and you're left with a car that is very rewarding to make progress in. And with that being said, I reckon I've kept you waiting long enough. Let's have a listen to that exhaust. Yeah, sounds good, doesn't it? And don't worry, the bang in that last clip was not the car. Right, before you all get in the comments and ask, let's go over to the owner and find out what exhaust he has installed on this car.
So it's a Unicourse. I think it's a Type 2 muffler it's called, but it's from Japan, and basically it's one of the ultimate exhausts, I think, for like the Alfa. I'm not sure how many there are in the country, there can't be that many, but there's a brand of exhaust in the UK called Wizard Exhaust, and they basically bought this Unicourse. So they bought it from Japan, and then they cut it open, I think, and then they basically use that as a template to build the Wizards. Right. And there's loads of Wizards now, so this is the template, I think, for all the Wizards that are out there.
Oh, okay, like a prototype.
Yeah,
model.
And I had a Wizard on one of my GTVs, so it's quite nice to have the original back box that all these Wizards are based on.
So as hinted at there, this is not Sam's first Alfa. He says that he has loved them ever since he had his first Busso V6 back when he was 24, and despite having other cars, he always finds himself gravitating back to Alfa Romeo. He has owned this 156 for 2.5 years and around 13,000 miles, and over that time period, the only thing that's gone wrong was the clutch, and that went about a week after he bought it. He reckons that they're great value considering that special engine that you get, but what else does he think makes Alfa Romeos so special?
Basically, on paper, I don't ever think they look that impressive, and they don't often win car tests when they're compared to other cars, because they're normally, you know, maybe the economy is not as good as another car, or this or that, refinement or whatever, but the thing is they give you a lot in terms of connection, I think, when you drive them. You know, most of them have got pretty good throttle response, nice engines, certainly from this era, and you feel very involved in the driving experience. So I think that's why people tend to, like enthusiasts tend to quite like Alfas over a lot of other cars, because even though they might not handle amazingly, compared to say a BMW, at the time or whatever, they're good fun, they're engaging, that's the point, and that's why people keep going back to Alfas, I think.
Now, I've never driven this car before, so you are on a journey of adventure with me. As you may have heard from the outside, this car sounds fabulous. Let's see what it sounds like on the inside and whether I can actually pull out anywhere without stalling it. That would also be a major victory, I reckon. Is it easy to stall, or?
No, it's not too bad. The fighting point's quite high up. So.
Yeah, we'll just take it steady for a minute. Now, straight away, compared to what I'm used to driving, yeah, it is very high up, isn't it? That throttle response is instant, like you were saying.
Instant throttle response.
It feels
like you're just so connected to the engine, doesn't
It does, and that's something I'm not used to with my turbocharged Saab.
This is fly-by-wire throttle, so
okay.
It's not cable throttle, so it shows that you can program it to behave like this. But most car manufacturers just don't do that.
Okay. Now, if you could hear a voice from off screen, that is the owner talking. He doesn't want to be on camera, which is fine, but if you hear a voice, that's who it is, just so you're aware. The thing is, I'm used to leaning on torque.
Yeah, you have to drive it a completely different way to get like max performance from this.
Ah, it's alright, I don't want to go too mad. It handles surprisingly sweetly, actually. Despite the fact it's a bit knackered.
It's quite direct feeling, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think the quick rack really helps it. But yeah.
Because the Saab's got a very slow rack. Let's give it a little bit down here, shall we? So leading on the torque doesn't work. Then you get past 4,000 RPM, and it really picks up. It loves revs, doesn't it?
And also the gears, because they're so close, if you go right up to the red line and change up, you'll still be in the peak zone of 4,000 plus. Do you see what I mean? So they designed it so you don't get bogged down, but you've got to use the whole of the rev range.
So this is a 6-speed, isn't it? This?
Yeah.
So what's it like on the motorway then? Is it?
You stick it in 6th and it's fine. It's probably about 3,000 revs at 80 or something like that, or maybe a little bit more than 3,000. But it's fine. Yeah, it's actually a good long distance cruiser.
Nice. It feels nice around here, even though it's slightly knackered. Listen to that noise. There's 4,000. Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. So overall, it's a brilliant cruiser, fantastic engine. With sorted suspension, it'd probably go around corners. Well, it goes around them all right, but I think with sorted suspension, it'd be even better, wouldn't it?
Well, definitely, yeah.
And then maybe get their brakes looked at because they don't feel like they've got all that much stopping power at the moment. Wow. Right, well, I think that's probably going to wrap up this video. I've got no idea how it's going to come out because it's been a bit of an experimental one, but thank you very much to the owner for letting me come down and experience this Busso V6. It's certainly a wonderful thing, and this car's just got so much charm about it, which I know is a very stereotypical thing to say. It looks fabulous, sounds fabulous, and it drives rather nicely as well. So yes, I've been Blee. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.